The stars stretched endlessly across the void, silent and cold, as if bracing for something terrible to come. High above Earth's orbit, the Global Defense Command Station, a massive ring of steel and light, floated in silence until the alarms began. Commander Selene Voss stood still as red lights flashed across the deck. Her dark uniform clung to her like armor. Her black braid coiled neatly down her back. She watched the tactical holomap in the center of the command room as one red dot after another vanished. "Report," she said, voice clipped steady. "Orbital satellites are going dark," an officer replied, his voice shaking. "Whatever's out there, it's not tech. It's biological. Massive." Selene's eyes narrowed. How massive? The holomap pulsed, then stopped, too big to measure. Before she could respond, the air behind her warped. A soft tone rang out like glass bending under pressure. A rift opened in the command deck. Energy rippled as a figure stepped through. Everyone drew weapons. Selene didn't flinch. The figure looked humanoid, female, maybe 17 by human standards, but clearly not human. Her skin shimmered in a pale shade of starlight blue, and her hair floated around her head like smoke. Her eyes glowed white, and her armor glinted with alien runes. "Identify yourself," Selene barked, raising her sidearm. The girl held up her hands calmly. "I mean no harm. My name is Kaelari of Thae'Lun. I came through the rift to warn you." "Warn us?" Selene didn't lower her weapon. "You just walked into our most secure installation." "I had to." Kaelari's voice was calm, almost melodic. "Your world is in danger. The enemy has come. His name is Zor'Kael." The name struck a chord deep in Selene's mind, something she'd read in forbidden xenological records. A myth, a weapon, a cosmic horror. Kaelari took a step forward. "He devours planets. Your Earth is next. I've seen what he does. I survived it." Selene's jaw tightened. "And why should I trust you? I'm the last of my people. Thae'Lun is gone because we were too proud to ask for help. I swore I would not let another world fall." Suddenly, the command deck's primary window activated, unsolicited. Outside, in the blackness of space, a shadow stirred. Massive, living, wrong. Zor'Kael. He wasn't a ship. He wasn't even a creature by standard definitions. He was an amalgamation of flesh, armor, and void. Tendrils miles long curled outward from a pulsating core. Its hide was cracked with glowing wounds. Dozens of eyes opened across its body, staring at Earth. A silent scream pulsed through the station. The lights flickered. Half the crew dropped to their knees, clutching their heads. Selene gritted her teeth, willing her mind to stay clear. "What is that thing doing to us?" "He speaks in emotion," Kaelari said, stepping beside her. "Fear, despair. He's trying to break you before the battle begins." Selene glanced at her. "You said we had to stop him together. You fought him before." Kaelari nodded. "I know his weakness, but we won't get close without help. Not from just your ships or your weapons. You need me." Selene lowered her weapon at last. "Then we do this by the book. You and I side by side." Kaelari offered a hand. "For Earth. For Thae'Lun." Selene clasped it. "Let's send that thing back to whatever void it crawled out of." The command center of the Aegis, Earth's largest orbital battleship, buzzed with focused urgency. Dozens of officers moved around the circular deck, updating readouts, relaying fleet movements, and prepping weapons. Outside the reinforced windows, Zor'Kael loomed in space like a twisted god, its immense, organic body slowly drifting closer to Earth. Commander Selene Voss stood near the central holomap, arms crossed tightly over her chest. Beside her, Kaelari hovered just above the floor, her cloak of light humming softly with energy. "We can't penetrate its outer shell," said General Makoa, the head of Earth's planetary defense. "Our orbital cannons might as well be throwing rocks. The creature warps physics around itself. Our weapons lose coherence before they reach impact." Selene looked to Kaelari. "You said you knew how to kill it." Kaelari projected an image onto the holomap, a swirling vortex within Zor'Kael's body. "This is his dimensional heart, the source of his existence. It exists half inside your reality and half in a rift. Destroy it, and the body will collapse. How do we reach it? Selene asked. Kaelari held out her hand, and a weapon formed. A long, slender spear made of glowing crystal. It pulsed with impossible energy. With this, a singularity blade, it can pierce the layers between worlds. But the heart is guarded. The projection shifted. 6 winged creatures appeared, each one the size of a warship, forged of smoke, flame, and darkness. Voidborn guardians, Kaelari said. He creates them from nightmares. We must defeat them to reach the core. Selene nodded once. Then we strike hard and fast, launch fighters, prep orbital weapons, and keep Zor'Kael distracted. Kaelari and I will break through the Guardians. General Makoa blinked. You're going out there yourself? Damn right, Selene replied. This isn't a war we win from behind glass. Minutes later, the Aegis launched its first wave. Earth's defense fleet scattered like sparks across the stars. Fighters, drones, and heavy cruisers opened fire with coordinated precision. Zor'Kael responded. The creature's massive tendrils lashed outward. Beams of compressed darkness ripped through space. Entire squadrons vanished without a trace. A psychic pulse hit the fleet, a low, vibrating hum that crawled into their thoughts. Selene felt it in her skull like a scream muffled underwater. He's trying to get into our heads. Kaelari floated beside her, shielding them with a flickering dome of light. Resist him. He feeds on fear. Suddenly, 6 portals tore open across space. The Guardians emerged, screaming into the void, winged terrors of nightmare flesh and burning eyes. Here they come, Selene shouted, activating her flight suit. Kaelari surged forward, wings of energy flaring behind her. Together, they launched toward the nearest 2 Guardians. Selene targeted one of the beasts, a hulking shadow beast with serrated wings. She dove beneath its claws, flipping mid-flight to fire a precision blast into its exposed spine. It screeched, spinning wildly. Kaelari followed through, her spear slicing across its throat in a trail of violet fire. The Guardian burst into fragments of dark flame. Another descended from above, this one with a writhing, centipede-like body and dozens of eyes that blinked with hate. Kaelari moved faster than thought, weaving through its limbs, stabbing deep into its core. But the creature struck back, slamming her with a tail like a wrecking ball. Kaelari tumbled through space. Selene caught her, steadying her with a magnetic tether. You all right? Kaelari wiped blood from her lip. Better now. They spun back into formation, cutting through 2 more of the beasts with perfect precision. The final Guardian, a massive bat-like creature with obsidian armor, blocked the path to Zor'Kael's heart. Selene narrowed her eyes. This one's mine. She charged head-on, dodging black fire, her lance sparking. Kaelari flanked from above, drawing its attention. Selene hurled the lance into its exposed chest. The creature shrieked and disintegrated into a cloud of ash and embers. Then they saw it, Zor'Kael's core. The heart pulsed inside a membrane of light and shadow, beating like a massive, broken star. It was exposed, but not for long. Selene opened a comm. This is Commander Voss to Aegis. Target the core. Prepare the singularity launcher. Wait for my mark. She looked at Kaelari. Ready. Kaelari's hand tightened around her spear. Let's end this. Together, they dove toward the heart, side by side, human and alien, soldier and survivor. The final battle had begun. The heart of Zor'Kael was unlike anything Selene had ever seen. It pulsed inside a storm of energy and broken reality, an enormous, translucent sphere suspended in a gravity field so intense it bent light. Bolts of raw energy crackled around it, lashing into the debris field that floated like a shattered crown around the core. Kaelari hovered beside her, her wings of starlight flickering. We're in the breach zone. No more Guardians between us and the heart. Selene gripped her plasma lance tighter. Then let's get this done. They dove in. The gravity distortion pulled them forward faster than any thruster. Their suits strained, their shields flared. Debris slammed past them like meteorites, and strange whispers echoed in Selene's mind, memories that weren't hers. Stay focused, Kaelari said. The heart is protected by more than matter. Zor'Kael's will lingers here. He'll try to turn your own mind against you. Selene felt it before she saw it. Her vision flickered. The battlefield was gone. She stood in the ruined city of New Rome, ground zero of Earth's first alien war. Fires burned. Ash rained. Her fallen squad mates stared up at her, hollow-eyed. "You left us," one whispered. "Commander?" Kaelari's voice crackled through the calm. Selene shook her head hard, forcing the illusion to break. The city shattered like glass. She was back in space. "I'm fine," she muttered. Zor'Kael's heart throbbed ahead, glowing deep red, a massive organ beating in and out of phase with reality. It was beautiful and terrible, as if it didn't belong to this universe at all. Selene landed on the heart's surface. Her magnetic boots barely held against the unstable terrain. Kaelari touched down beside her, holding the singularity spear. "We must strike together," Kaelari said. "The spear opens the core. Your fleet finishes it." Selene nodded. "On 3. Together." They raised the spear and drove it into the surface. The heart screamed. A blinding pulse of energy erupted from the point of impact, hurling them both backward. Selene's visor cracked. Kaelari's wing field collapsed, and she began to drift. The heart membrane cracked open like an egg. From inside, a churning void poured out, a glimpse into the rift beyond reality. Time stuttered. For a moment, Selene saw Earth burning and then healing. She saw herself as a child, then as something more. The singularity was awake. "Commander Voss, to Aegis." Selene shouted into her comm, "Target the exposed core." "Fire the launcher now." "Coordinates locked," came the reply. "Firing in 10 seconds." Kaelari floated nearby, struggling to stabilize. Her eyes glowed brighter than before. "It's working. The core is destabilizing." Then, the final defense came alive. Tendrils of pure void surged from the cracked heart, swarming toward them like living chains. One wrapped around Selene's leg, dragging her downward. Another seized Kaelari, pulling her toward the rift itself. Selene fought, blasting the tendril with her wrist cannon. "Kaelari!" Kaelari's armor sparked. "It's trying to pull me in, to finish what it started with Thae'Lun." Selene reached for her. Their fingers touched, but another tendril knocked her back. The core began to collapse inward, forming a singularity inside itself. Selene activated her emergency tether, shot it toward Kaelari, and pulled with everything she had. Just as the tendrils recoiled, the Aegis fired. A white beam, thin as a needle, brighter than a star, pierced the heart dead center. There was no sound, only light. Zor'Kael shuddered. Its body cracked across the stars like a dying planet. The energy around it fractured. Its tendril spasmed, then froze. And then it exploded, not with fire or heat, but with pure silence. The void swallowed itself. The rift closed. And then there was nothing. No creature. No scream. Only drifting light. Selene floated in the aftermath, the remains of the core sparkling like snow. Her suit was failing. Oxygen low. Systems dimming. Kaelari was gone from view. "Kaelari," she said weakly. "Answer me." Nothing. And then, "I'm here," came a voice. Tired but alive. Selene turned. Kaelari floated just beyond the wreckage, bleeding, one wing broken but alive. They locked eyes across the silence, no words needed. It was done. Zor'Kael was dead. But the cost wasn't over yet. Silence reigned where the universe had just screamed. The remains of Zor'Kael drifted in space, fractured bones of void, burning debris, and flickers of impossible energy fading into nothing. The stars, once hidden behind the creature's bulk, now shone clearly. Earth, bruised but unbroken, spun peacefully in the distance. Commander Selene Voss floated among the wreckage, her suit torn and systems failing. Her visor blinked critical warnings in dull red. Blood ran from a gash above her brow, drifting upward in zero gravity. She activated her comm with the last flicker of power. "Aegis, this is Voss," she said weakly. "The target is neutralized. I repeat, Zor'Kael is down." There was a pause, then an explosion of static and relief. "Commander, we've got you. Stand by. We're locking onto your signal." But Selene didn't move. Her eyes scanned the field, searching, desperate. "Kaelari," she called. "Kaelari, do you read?" "Only static." "No," she whispered. "Not like this." Her tether launcher was empty. Thrusters drained. But she started drifting through the debris anyway, pushing off from broken shards of guardian bone and melted hull fragments. "Come on, Starlight, say something." Then a ping. Her visor picked up a faint life signal. She pushed toward it, breath shallow, heart pounding harder than it had during the battle. Through the swirling wreckage, she saw her. Kaelari floated still and silent, her alien armor cracked and dim. One of her radiant wings was missing, the other flickering like a dying star. Her eyes were closed. Her hands hung limp. Selene grabbed her, securing the magnetic link between their suits. "Hey," she said, her voice cracking. "Don't you dare." Kaelari's eyes fluttered open, dim, glowing. "Did we do it?" Selene smiled through tears. "You're damn right we did." Together, they drifted toward the beacon signal, the Aegis pulling them home with tractor beams minutes later. As they passed back into the safety of Earth's orbit, the entire fleet watched in awe, two figures against the stars, symbols of survival. 3 days passed. In a medical bay aboard the Aegis, Selene stood at the window, watching Earth turn below. Its oceans glittered. Its cities blinked with light. Behind her, Kaelari lay in a stasis recovery chamber. Alien tech interfaced with human machines, reading her vitals, stabilizing her fading energy. The price of surviving the rift was steep. Her biology, bound to interdimensional energy, had been torn near apart. Selene hadn't left her side. She barely noticed when General Makwa entered behind her. "We're holding memorials next week," he said quietly. "Over 1,000 ships damaged or destroyed. But we saved Earth." Selene didn't look away from the window. "She saved Earth. She wouldn't have done it alone," Makwa said. "Neither would you." "She didn't have to come back," Selene said. "But she did." Makwa hesitated. "You should know. The UN Council wants to meet her. When she wakes. They're calling her an ally. A hero." "She's not a symbol," Selene said. "She's Kaelari." He left her in silence. Hours later, the med monitors chirped softly. Selene spun around. Kaelari's eyes opened. Not glowing. Not cold. But soft. Human. "You're still here?" she asked, voice hoarse. Selene laughed once, relieved. "Didn't really feel like going home without you." Kaelari smiled faintly. "I wasn't sure I'd make it back." Selene stepped closer, lowering her voice. "You did. And you're not alone anymore." There was silence for a moment. Then Kaelari asked, "So what happens now?" Selene leaned against the bed rail. "Now, you rest. Then maybe we show Earth what unity really looks like. Maybe we help rebuild. Together." Kaelari looked out the window at the stars. "I used to dream of seeing peace. Just once. Before Thae'Lun fell." "Well," Selene said, "you've got a second chance." "So do we." Their hands met briefly. No words needed. 2 weeks later, a monument stood at the edge of the crater left by Zor'Kael's arrival point. It wasn't made of steel or stone, but crystalline alloy gifted from Kaelari's people. What little remained of their technology. On it was engraved, "To the stars that chose to protect instead of destroy. May this alliance be the first of many." High above, the Aegis orbited silently, its beacon blinking bright against the night. And in its heart, 2 warriors, born of different worlds, stood side by side, ready to face whatever came next. Together.